Hey! So the summer in Japan is already here, and you are thinking of coming to Japan in this summer, but you're kind of concerned of the heat and the humidity in Japan, then this video might just be for you. So in this video, I would like to talk about the summer in Japan. So if you're thinking of coming to Japan in the summer as a tourist, or if you're already living in Japan and you want to prepare for the summer, then in this video I will give you some tips and tricks, some of the experience which I have had in Japan in the summer, and some of the things which you should do and not do to have a pleasant experience in this super humid climate in Japan. Hey guys, my name is Tanmay. So I have been living in Japan for the past 3 years, and I've experienced summers 3 times while I was working and while I was also a student in Japan. So just a heads up, this video is not that serious, and this is my first time making a long form video in front of the camera, so I might make some mistakes while giving some tips and everything. So please be aware and please be kind to me, hopefully. So let's get started. So the first thing, I think I've already talked about it a lot in the past 1 minute, is the humidity. So humidity in Japan is a very, 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 very strong enemy of your living. If you have lived in Southeast Asia or mostly in Asian countries which are surrounded by water, I think you have already experienced a very humid summer. But if you have come from a very, very dry climate, summer in Japan is very, very sticky, and it is also very, very igokochiwari. So it can also feel very, very uncomfortable because the heat lingers around even after the sun is down. So it can cause a very constant sense of heat trying to pierce through your skin. So even at night when the sun is down and the temperatures have dropped, they are not necessarily have dropped, the heat lingers around, and let's say if you go out or if you go out of the AC, you will feel the water in the air trying to create a sticky environment in and around you, and that also makes your skin sticky. Even if you're sitting, it's sticky. If you're sleeping, it becomes sticky. So one of the things which you can do to avoid it is that, one thing, if you're inside a room or inside a facility, make sure that the AC is on. I am pretty sure in the malls the AC is handled by the company, but if you're living inside a room in your hotel room, make sure the AC is constantly on so you can keep the humidity away. Humidity can also cause a different problem called nechusho, so a heat stroke. While humidity in itself will not cause heat stroke, it will definitely exacerbate the feeling of heat trying to stay on your body for quite some time. So in order to avoid that, you have to make sure that you drink a lot of cold liquids, and make sure that you try to avoid the sun and stay in the shade as much as possible. Even though the heat might permeate through the humidity, it will actually keep you at least a little, keep your body temperature a little tolerable, rather than completely being basking in the sun and just waiting for you to just fall down because of the heat. Another thing which you can do to feel better in the summer in this very, very humid climate is to get athleisure clothes. For example, this one I got from GU. I'm not so sure if you're able to see it properly, but these are very easy to wear. They are very, very comfortable, and they're also very airy, which causes the dissipation of heat and the dissipation of my sweat fairly nice. Having these clothes is definitely recommended. Another very uncomfortable thing which happens in Japan is the fact that your hair will become very, very ruffled. So it will become very curly, very, very dry, very, very sticky sometimes, and that can cause a lot of problems while you're traveling in very, very humid climates. But at the same time, while you are sitting in an average room in summer in Japan, as you can see, my hair, it kind of looks like I have just woken up, even though I just cleaned my hair in the morning. I shampooed it, I conditioned it, and I properly put product. I put a lot of moisturizer on it, but because of the heat and the humidity, it eventually loses all of the shine, all of the moisture from it, and kind of replaces it with this sweaty kind of air on it. And it's something which I kind of hate a lot, and there isn't much which you can do about it. There, however, is one thing which you can do, and it is very popular among Japanese women, and also sometimes in Japanese men as well. It's called downperming. So if you have, let's say, curly hair, and even if you don't have curly hair, what you can do is go to a hair salon and tell them to downperm your hair, so they kind of become like very, very straight, and then they kind of stay straight because you have permed them, and that can cause like kind of looks good, and at the same time does not make your hair become ruffled again because of the heat. On to the next one, which is very common, very, very standard in any summer, whether it is dry or humid or whatever it is. It's to make sure that you always are hydrated. Make sure that you drink a lot, at least a few sips every 30 minutes, because the nechusho, the heat strokes in Japan, are very common. Temperatures can often reach 35, 36 in the summer. So maybe getting cold drinks in the convenience store is also very, very, very recommended. So I got me some cider. Cider is actually, Mitsuya cider actually is a very popular beverage in Japan, something which was made in 1884, and it's kind of very, very tasty. So in the summer, if you want to try it, you should definitely try it. In the case of Japan, if you, let's say, hold a Android or an Apple device, or any device which has the weather application, Japanese government often and will make sure that it will send a nechusho warning, a heat stroke warning into your weather application. So in my case, this is the weather application on the iPhone. You do not see a nechusho, a heat stroke warning right now, but if there is a heat stroke warning, it should probably pop up as a notification in your application. Another very common thing which you can do while coming to Japan is to buy sunscreen. So sunscreens are very common in almost every country, but some people like the feeling of sunscreen on the skin. Some people don't like it, but at the end of the day, Japan is a very tropical temperate kind of climate, and the heat is also very strong, and the UV index, if you check on the weather application, is also very high. So I will very strongly recommend you to buy a sunscreen which has minimum of SPF 50, and then all of those pluses which are also included on it. But make sure that your sunscreen is SPF 50. If you're staying outside for a longer durations of time in Japan, on your trip, then make sure that you at least buy something called a higasa, a parasol, or those handheld fans, which are very popular in East Asia. I've seen them in Korea, China, and also sometimes in Southeast Asia as well. I haven't seen them much in Europe, or let's say in India where I'm from, but having them is it's pretty amazing. They are cheap and they're fairly affordable. And parasols, also known as the sun umbrellas, are also fairly cheap, and you can find very, very pretty ones in Japan as well. So once maybe you land in Japan, you can start buying parasols as soon as possible, and I'll strongly recommend you that you actually buy them. I mean, like I told you previously, while having a parasol, a higasa is pretty nice. If you don't have money to buy a higasa, at least make sure that you buy something like a cap, because the heat is so strong that it kind of hurts, and if you once start sweating, then the kimochi, then the feeling on your body is very, very bad. So those are the points which I wanted to tell you to be careful of before coming to Japan. They are very common points. As a matter of fact, even if you remove the Japan part and you add another country to it, which is very hot and humid, those will probably stay the same. But even after saying all of these things, what I want you to know is the fact that the summer in Japan, even though it's hot and humid, is very enjoyable. Okay, it might feel very, very humid, it might feel very, very uncomfortable, but it will only feel like that for the first 2 hours. After you get used to the sweat and the humidity, it's fairly bearable, and then you can keep enjoying. Please, if you want to go out, make sure that you properly prepare yourself and take a lot of liquids, because the surroundings are kind of hot, but they're exceptionally beautiful. So I'll definitely recommend you to take necessary precautions and spend whatever duration you want to spend outside enjoying the climate as well. 日本は結構圧倒的に綺麗な国で、いつもどんな季節でもすごく綺麗なものなんですよ。春でも秋でもほとんど綺麗だし、あんまり日本で夏に来る観光客がそこまでいないんですけれども、最近結構増えていて、ちゃんとみんなが、準備していただいて、ちゃんと、熱っていうか暑いところに、準備していただければ結構いい旅行になるかとずっと思うので、ぜひぜひちゃんと準備して、日本に来ていただいて楽しんでいただければかなと思います。ではまた次のビデオで会いましょう。Thanks for watching my video and hope to see you in my next video as well. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe if you like my videos. I'll follow you in the next video. Bye bye.